February 13th, 2017, Kuala Lumpur International Airport. A passenger collapses to the floor. To the world, it looked like a sudden illness, but for intelligence agencies, it was the beginning of the decade's most complex mystery. The murder weapon, an invisible nerve agent. The assassins, two women who vanished within hours. The target, a man with a passport under the name Kim Chol, but in reality, this was Kim Jong-nam, the main rival to the leader of North Korea. It was meant to be the perfect murder, no trace, no motive that leads back to Pyongyang. But the assassins made one mistake, and this mistake didn't just solve a crime, it brought into the light a shadow intelligence network that had operated across the globe for years, a network known as Room 35. Kim Jong-nam was born in 1971. He was the firstborn son of Kim Jong-il and seemingly the direct heir. But he was different. He had no passion for the military. He was interested in the internet, business, openness. He studied in Geneva and loved Western culture. In 2001, he was arrested in Japan for trying to enter on a fake passport. He said he wanted to visit Disneyland. For Pyongyang, this was a source of shame. And from that moment on, he was an exile, but not a forgotten one. Kim Jong-un now had a brother living in the free world, a brother who spoke to journalists, criticized the regime, and stated that the DPRK needed reform. And as long as he was alive, he was a symbol of an alternative, living proof that another Kim was possible. And that is why, on February 13th, 2017, in Kuala Lumpur International Airport, he was poisoned, not by chance, not spontaneously, but meticulously planned. Connections, logistics, control. And while the world's attention immediately turned to political suspicion, the real challenge lay deeper, because to talk about the murder was to talk about who was behind it, about a structure known only to a select few, about Room 35. Room 35 is not just an office. It is the elite unit of North Korean intelligence, officially the 5th Department of the Reconnaissance General Bureau, or RGB. In practice, it is an instrument of foreign intelligence, liquidations, subversive activities, and political assassinations. The RGB, or Reconnaissance General Bureau, consolidated all of North Korea's intelligence services under one roof. It handles everything from foreign espionage to cybercrime. And within this structure, Room 35 holds a special place. It is part of the 3rd floor, a unique internal cluster that works directly for the elite. This floor was once physically located on the 3rd level of Kim Jong-il's office building. Symbolically, it is the highest echelon of shadow power. Room 35, espionage, assassinations, agent running. Office 38, financial investments, legitimate schemes. Office 39, illicit funds, banned substances, smuggling. Together, they form a system that supplies the regime with currency, information, and influence. Their agents are scattered across the world. Their job, to collect money, gather intelligence, and maintain control. A crucial detail, while Room 35 technically reports to the RGB, in reality, it answers directly to the party leadership. It is a political tool, the personal sword of the Kim dynasty. That's why the murder of Kim Jong-nam wasn't just a familial liquidation. It was a political message, a demonstration of power that showed the world the regime was willing to act anywhere, against anyone. Long before hackers and digital warfare, North Korea's primary weapon was people. Agents trained for decades, who lived double lives, and some of them achieved the impossible. One such case will go down in history as almost unbelievable. A North Korean spy operated from the very heart of the South Korean government. In the Blue House, the president's office. This fact became known thanks to the defector Kim Kuk-song, a former RGB colonel who managed operations for Room 35. In his testimony, he admitted, "Yes, I sent an agent to the Blue House, and he worked there for 5 or 6 years. He worked within the presidential support staff and remained undetected until his return to the DPRK. This is a level of infiltration that most of the world's intelligence agencies can only dream of. How is this possible? Training spies is one of Room 35's core functions. Its specialists work with candidates for years. They learn foreign languages, change their appearance, and live under new legends. They are willing to wait for years until the moment to act arrives. And this is what sets the North Korean model apart. Here, a spy is not just an informant. They are an instrument of ideology. Room 35's operations have a long-term horizon. Agents embed themselves in civic organizations, universities, and charities. Their instrument is not a weapon, but a smile. Their currency is trust, and their real treasure is the information they gradually pass back to Pyongyang. The DPRK's diplomatic missions are another channel. Many diplomats are in fact intelligence officers. They have diplomatic immunity, they move money, and most importantly, they coordinate local spy networks. And while the South developed its democracy, the North was digging roots. Until 2017, dozens of North Korean spies were arrested in South Korea every year, but afterwards that number dropped sharply. This didn't mean Pyongyang had given up on espionage, it meant they had changed the rules of the game. From agents to algorithms, from manual data handoffs to mass digital breaches, the North has built the most effective cyber army of any authoritarian regime in the world. Roughly 6,000 specialists, the infamous Unit 121, subordinate to the RGB, but its goals remain the same as Room 35's, to spy, to steal, to destroy. These hackers don't just breach systems, they finance a dictatorship. Through attacks on cryptocurrency exchanges and phishing schemes, the regime has stolen at least $3 billion in cryptocurrency between 2017 and 2023. Their signature: speed, sophistication, and absolute anonymity. Pyongyang has gone even further. They've started embedding their IT workers into global companies, even Fortune 500s. These specialists apply for freelance work using fake profiles. They get paid in stablecoins and funnel a portion back to the regime through complex laundering chains. Using decentralized exchanges and crypto mixers, they launder the funds. This is a financial war that is almost impossible to trace. The result? Millions of dollars flowing into the regime's coffers. And here is where it all connects. Room 35 gathers intelligence on vulnerabilities. Office 39 conducts the financial operations. Together, they bypass sanctions, fund the nuclear program, and sustain the elite. All of this in a system that was born from poison in an airport. This is no longer just ideology, this is a transnational criminal enterprise. The attack was almost perfect, but it had one flaw. It drew too much attention. Malaysia is not a dictatorship. It has cameras, journalists, investigations. The investigation revealed a startling truth. The women didn't know they were committing murder. They were told they were filming a prank show. When the real moment came, they did as they were told. But without the cameras, and with VX nerve agent, the agents who handled them had North Korean passports. Within hours, they had left the country on a direct flight to Pyongyang. For the first time in years, the regime couldn't hide its operation. Every frame became evidence. Every minute was a public act of terror. When journalists started digging, they uncovered the RGB's structure, then the 5th Department, and finally, Room 35. Everything that was hidden became public knowledge. Kim Jong-un achieved his goal. He eliminated his brother, but the price was the exposure of his entire shadow apparatus to the eyes of global intelligence. All the subsequent sanctions, investigations, and asset freezes were not just a reaction to a single death. They were a reaction to the system that had revealed itself. The response was swift. The US imposed personal sanctions on those responsible. South Korea ramped up its counterintelligence efforts. Malaysia scaled back its diplomatic ties with the DPRK. The The financial flows linked to Room 35 and Office 39 came under intense monitoring. The irony is profound. Kim Jong-nam lived in exile. He had no army, no power, and yet his death achieved more than any agent of influence ever could. Because in that moment, as he fell to the airport floor, the curtain on the regime's darkest room was lifted. The assassination itself turned Kim Jong-nam into a symbol. The world saw how Room 35 operates, how money flows from crypto exchanges to the state arsenal, how intelligence services are directed from a party office, how a single system spies, kills, and finances itself. He was meant to be a ruler. Instead, he became a key, the key to the loudest exposé in the history of the DPRK. The system wanted to erase him, but in killing him, it revealed itself to the world. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.